Hey everybody, I hope you're having an amazing and blessed day. Hope everything's going well for you. I've had a couple of very hard weeks, few hard weeks. My mom got sick and she passed away, and it was very traumatic, and I don't want to talk about it too much. It was very painful. It still is very painful and fresh, but I wanted to get this video out because I kind of felt like I left it in the last few videos without a conclusion. I just kind of harped on religion. And so I want to clarify and get the kind of the point of all of that, because I don't see religion as just a faith or a belief or a doctrine. I see religion as very destructive, and the reason it's destructive, as I've alluded to, is because it's a have to, and it's the only way. In my opinion, religion is man's way of controlling man on how to get to God. And faith is just man's way of trying to get to God, or purpose, or meaning in life. And we have faith that this isn't just the physical realm, that there is a spiritual realm. And the reason I make a distinction, and people might have differing definitions, but religion is a controlling way to do things, versus faith is an open way to do things. So, I wanted to clarify that I do believe in faith, that I do believe in spirituality, but I do not believe in religion. And for those that didn't see the last couple of videos, I just want to clarify real quick and recap, is that the way every single religion starts, and you can look through history and you can see every single one, somebody that starts with somebody having an experience with God, or idea or situation in their life that they feel is life-changing and brings life. And they share that with others, and most likely, if it sticks, somebody else had an experience, and then eventually somebody wants to name it and define it, which that's all fine, because that's language. Language is definitions of things. That's all language is. And so that's fine. But at some point it switches, and it becomes the only way. This is the only way to do it. And then it becomes a have to. And once it becomes a have to, and people don't do it, then there's the need for punishment to get people in line. And that goes from yelling and screaming all the way to murder. So that's the first reason why religion, I feel, is destructive, because it's a have to. And the thing is, once things become a have to, there's only 3 reactions that people can have. Once you say to somebody they have to do it a certain way, there's only 3 reactions. And the first one is rebellion. And if you want to know more about all this stuff and going deeper, you can look at my last videos. But first is rebellion. And that's just, no, I ain't going to do that. And then that, in the end, somebody's got to die. And then you have fear. Fear is the next reaction. And no matter what, maybe people do what you want them to do, but then they live in fear. And then there's also the ability for you to punish is the only way to get people to follow you. And that, it destroys relationship, destruction. Fear is a very deadly and bad thing. Then there's the third, most destructive thing, and that is self-righteousness. And self-righteousness happens when you agree with whatever the belief is, the doctrine, the have to, and then it's your job to punish, to get people to fall in line and do what they're supposed to do. And self-righteousness gives people pretty much justification for anything. And we can see that clearly in history and other people and religious fervor. But here's the thing. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe that He lived and that He died on a cross for our sins so that we can have relationship with him. I believe in the New Testament that it shares what happened and what he spoke about. And the thing is, and the Old Testament, by the way, too. I believe in that and in its context and reasons, and we can get into that in other videos. But the thing is, I believe in all that stuff, but I do not believe in religion. I have a faith. And the reason I have that faith isn't because it's a doctrinal theory or idea that I like. It's because it changed my life, because I had an experience with Jesus. And what that experience was to me, life was meaningless. Life was utterly meaningless. Like I'd get up, I'd go to work, go home, go to sleep. Get up, go to work, go home, go to sleep. And at the time I was young, but I had a very good job and I was making pretty good money. I had very little expenses, and I blew most of it. Let's just be right, up front about that. But I would work all week long just to go party on the weekends and then start over again. I'm like, is this my life? Is this what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? Is just look for the weekend but work, and then I'm going to go find somebody to get married. Maybe that will make me feel better, and then we both can go to work, go home, go to sleep, get up, go to work, go home, go to sleep. And then we can have kids, and they could get up, go to home, go to work, go home, go to sleep, get up, go to work, go home, go to sleep. And like, that is pointless, meaningless. Why are we even here? And that was the answer that Jesus gave me. That it wasn't just living to survive, that it was a relationship, that we were here for a purpose, and that first purpose is relationship with God. And that changed my life. And so when I think of religion, I think of arguing, demanding, and have-tos. But when I think of faith, I think of experiences that nobody can deny me. My experience is real. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me is irrelevant, because what it did in my life was profound. And I hope to share things in your life that bring life. And it's not about my way, it's about what works. It's about what brings life. That's the key. And if we look at it in that realm, it opens up the possibility of freedom. Everybody is free to do what they want to do. And that's a fact. Literally a fact. You can pretend like we can control other people, but really all we're doing is forcing, and we've already talked about that. But in the end, every single one of us has choices. And if we try to force people just to do it our way, just to make ourselves feel better, or are we just showing people that this way works? And then there is no argument. There is no fight, because it is what it is. If it works, it works. If it brings life, people like that. And I don't need to argue about it. Real quick, if you look at Jesus' whole ministry, not once did he force anybody to do anything. The only people he got after were the religious leaders. And the reason he was getting after them is because they were hypocrites and they were hurting other people and they were pushing them away from God. And that's what he gave them lip about. But he never argued with them. He just kind of popped their little bubble and went on. You either believe me or you don't. You either change or you don't. Not my problem. Your problem, not my problem. And that is the key. We don't have to fight. We don't have to argue. We don't have to beat people over the head. Because if our way works and our way brings life, people are going to want it. They're going to ask us for it. And if our way doesn't work and our way doesn't bring life, then our way is retarded. And we should stop trying to do that. So I hope that blesses you. It's really hard to get all this in one message, but hope that blesses you. Have a great and amazing day.